Hello everyone, myself Professor P.T. Weble from the Kekewak College of Agriculture Biotechnology Nashik. We will discuss on TRIPS, that is the trade related intellectual property rights, that is services. What is meant by TRIPS? The TRIPS means the trade related aspects of intellectual property rights including trade and counterfeit goods, that is the agreement. The TRIPS is one of the 14 multilateral trade agreements within the World Trade Organization and one results of the Uruguay round with GATT. Why TRIPS? The reason one, intellectual property had become important in international trade relations, and second reason, existing convention in the intellectual property field lacked efficient enforcement provisions against counterfeiting and piracy. This is the two reasons, because what is the necessary of the trips? First one, the important international trade relations, and second one, the lacked efficient enforcement provision against counterfeiting and piracy. The trips in general, standards for the substantive protection of all essential intellectual property rights, provision on basic principles, that is national treatment and most favorable nations. Second one, standards of enforcement, provision on dispute settlement, transitional institutional agreements, that is the TRIPS in general. The trade related intellectual property services, it includes TRIPS was incorporated in Uruguay round and it's covered copyright and related rights, then trademarks including services, geographical indications including appellation of origins, then industrial designs, patent including the protection of new varieties of plants, the layout designs of integrated circuits, undisclosed information including trade secrets and test data, that is the trade related property services. You see it, first one, copyright and related rights, trademarks, patents, then layout designs and undisclosed information including trade secrets and test data, that is the all services which is providing by the trips. Then trips, how it works, the standards, the agreement sets out of the minimum standards of protection to be provided by each member. Each of the main implements elements of protection is defined, namely the subject matter to be protected, the rights to be conferred and permissible expectation to those rights and the minimum duration of the protection. Enforcement, the second main set of provision deals with domestic procedure and remedies for the enforcement of intellectual property rights, lays down the certain general principles applicable to all the IPR enforcement procedures. Next one, provision on civil and administrative procedure and remedies, provisional measures, special requirements related to border, major and criminal procedure for the right holder to enforce their rights. The dispute settlement, the agreement makes dispute between WTO members about the respect of the TRIPS obligation subject to WTO dispute settlement procedure. The main provision on patent means Section 5 Part 2 contains the following standard. The first one, patent shall be granted for any inventions, whether products or process, provided they are new, involve and inventive steps and are capable of industrial applications. Patent shall be granted in all fields of the technology. No discrimination is allowed with respect to the place of invention or based on whether the products are locally produced or imported. Then member can be excluded from patentability diagnostic, therapeutic and surgical method of treatment for humans and animals, as well as plants, animals, biological process for the production thereof. And fourth one, plant varieties shall be protected by patents. The plant varieties shall be protected by patents and effective sui generis regime or combination of both. Exclusive rights confirmed in the case of products and process patent are defined, subject in the case of imports to the principles of the exhaustion. Invention shall be disclosed in a manner which is sufficiently clear and complete for all skilled person in the art to carry out the invention. Indication and the base code for carrying out the invention. The limited exceptions to the exclusive rights can be defined by national laws, that is TRIPS Article 30. The granting conditions for granting other use without authorization of the patent holder. Compulsory license are the sets of fourth member can be determined the grounds to such uses. Revocation of the patent is subject to judicial review. The term of protection shall be at least 20 years from the date of application. The term of protection shall be at least 20 years from the date of application. The main provisions on copyright. The main provisions on copyright is the protection of work covered by the Berne Convention, excluding moral rights to the expression but not their ideas, procedures, methods of operation, mathematical concept as such, the production of computer programs as literary work and compilation of data, recognition of rental rights, expression of exclusive right must be limited to the then recognition of the 50 years minimum exclusively terms of works, recognition of right of performance, producers, phonograms and broadcasting organization. Provision of trademarks. The definition of protected signs, example, those capable of distinguishing the goods or services of one undertaking from those of other undertaking. Service marks receive protection equivalent to that for marks for goods. Registrability, then protection of well-known expectations. The minimum terms of protection is 7 years. The requirement of this use for limited in the terms of both minimum period and non-use period. Then trademarks may be assigned without transfer of the business. Measures to combat trade in counterfeiting products should be available at the border. Provisions on industrial designs. The protection should be conferred on designs which are new or original. Requirement for the protection of textile design should not impair or the opportunity to obtain such protection. Exclusion rights can be exercised against acts for commercial purpose, including importation. The minimum terms of protection is 10 years. Provision for layout designs for integrated circuits. The layout designs of the integrated circuits shall be protected according to the provisions of the Washington Treaty of 1989. The protection shall be extended to layout design acts such as to industrial articles that incorporate them. Bona fide purchasers of the products involving infringing layout, then terms of protection is a minimum of 10 years. The provision for trade secret undisclosed information is to be protected against unfair. If the information is secret, has commercial value and is subject to step to keep it secret, secret data submitted for the approval of new chemicals entities for pharmaceuticals and agrochemical products should be protected against unfair commercial uses and disclosure by the governments. Provisions for geographical indications. The WTO members are obligated The WTO members are obligated under TRIPS Article 22.2 to provide legal means for interested parties to prevent use of any means in the designation of the presentation of the good that indicates or suggests that the good is questions originate in the geographical areas other than the true place of the origin in a manner that misleads to the public. The members are also required to refuse or invalidate registrations in the provision for geographic indications. The TRIPS dispute settlement steps consultation panel and panel reports, possibly resources to standing appellate body, DSB decision on panel report, suspension of concession, trade sanctions, list development countries, that is LDC, and TRIPS application in time. General applications of TRIPS by January 1, 1996, developed countries and countries in transition by January 2000. The list developed countries are LDC. Upon request, the TRIPS Council to postpone application to January 1, 2006. Doha Ministerial Declaration, then provision on incentive to promote the technology transfer, provision on technical cooperation. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you.